It's recording.
All right, Mr. Markowitz, I am going to be coming in today to see your third grade class. So I have just a few questions to kind of prepare me to go into the room. And you've already submitted your lesson plan, so I kind of have a brief picture of the lesson that I'll be seeing today. But if you can give me some specifics on the number of students in your class and a little bit of a breakdown of what the demographics are in your room.
I have 23 students, mostly boys. It's about 3/4 of them are boys. Did you want ethnicity or just
Sure.
Ethnicity is mostly Hispanic and African American, and I think I have 2 Caucasian. And learning-wise, I have 2 students that have IEPs, and I have kind of a good class of readers, and we're really doing a lot of comprehension, and they've come a long way, so we're able to do more things as you're about to hear.
Okay, great. Can you tell me what your main objectives are going to be during this lesson?
This is a very specific objective focusing on standard 3.3.2, which is comprehending the basic plots of a classic fairy tales, myths, folktales, legends, and fables from around the world. This one specifically is going to be about Cinderella, about a fairy tale.
And can you describe some of the teaching methods that you're going to try and employ? Whole group, small group, that kind of thing.
We're going to start with probably actually whole group, and I like to get them out of their seats, so I will be sitting in a chair as a whole group, and I will read them the story of Cinderella.
So you'll be on the floor?
I'll be on the floor, but as a whole group, kind of an informal whole group is kind of the way I have to see it. And then on the floor, we'll be discussing and filling out a sheet of elements of a fairy tale, which will involve like identifying characters, the setting, the problem, the development, and then the conclusion of the fairy tale.
So this portion will be done all together?
Yes, this will be done as a group and with open discussion.
Okay.
So I might be getting ahead of your question, but assessment-wise, I will assess both. I will look at what they wrote on their sheets, the elements of a fairy tale, and I will also do a participation observation, trying to call on the kids, trying to get everybody involved.
All right. Go ahead and tell me a little bit more of the other. So the entire lesson is going to be whole group, or is there an activity beyond that?
The second activity is, I always tell them this is probably the most boring part. I like to set them up by saying, after we get this done, the next part is there is a magazine interview where the interviewer has pre-written questions. They do this on their own at first at their desks. The questions are already written out. Then they all answer as Cinderella. The questions like, who did you live with before you got married? What job did you do then? Tell me about your stepsisters and how they treated you. It's kind of neat because they're kind of like modern questions to this old fairy tale. And so then they go through, there's a list of, I believe there's about 10 questions, I think. And then at the end of it, they're to draw a magazine cover about Cinderella.
Good.
After this is done, then as a group, because my students like this, I choose 2 students, and one reads the interview question and one reads the answers back as Cinderella. And so several of them do that, so they realize that their questions, the answers will be just slightly different, but it makes them think about the setting and the development and conclusion of the
So pairs of students will then demonstrate or show their specific interviews.
Right.
Model. Are you going to be doing any sort of modeling for this?
Just at first, how I will model is it's kind of a teacher trick. I'll probably choose 2 students that I know will be able to do this. And then the others, generally, if they get to come up, this class is good about wanting to come up. And I don't choose, I totally at random will choose students to pair up. I don't, I do have reading partners, but I won't choose them by reading partners. So I'll be a bit random about
This
it.
is going to be random grouping?
Yes.
Okay. Random partners. All right, and then you talked a little bit about your assessments for the participation and on what they come up with as a class.
Correct.
What other assessments will you do to know, if they've mastered the characterization and plot of fairy tale?
More orally, there's no written test for this. What I'll assess their answers to these questions and assess. I'll assess the elements of the fairy tale sheet,
Okay.
and of course how they've answered it. And actually, this little magazine interview too, I will be able to assess their oral responses.
Okay. Will you be doing any, using any technology, or what kind of resources?
The only technology I would probably use on this is just to demonstrate on the overhead my Elmo. In this case, it's best. Sometimes I will have a story recorded like Cinderella, but I wanted it to be more informal. They
Okay.
had to be on the floor and pay attention to me.
All right. Is there anything special characteristics of your students that you want to highlight, or something that you feel I should know before I come in?
No, I think just know that I will probably choose the students that I know have the ability to do the magazine part first.
Okay.
And I will probably, in my mind, choose students that maybe are a little more shy or struggle with reading to do maybe in the middle or the end of the oral reading of the magazine interview part.
All right. So this will kind of conclude our observation, and I think I'll just get a signature
Okay?
of the teacher here, and then I'll sign so we have a copy of that, and then I look forward to coming into your room later today.
Great.